Welcome back. Another week of Mojo Sports. And this week, we're going to be looking at the college football playoff bracket. We're going to be giving you our picks, telling you how we think it's going to go. And then we're going to make picks for the first round of the games. And at the end of the show, we got a treat for you, a little Mojo Sports Award Show. So we'll be giving out all the biggest awards there is in college football. And any of these guys that win these awards, just come on down to the studio and we'll give you your trophy. Some of these awards even come with gift cards, vouchers. So, yeah, come on down.
First annual, first annual.
First one. Joe, they did give out an award already, and that would be the Heisman. That was just announced. And Mendoza, he is the winner, brings Indiana all the way to the number one seed after, man, going into the season, they didn't have high hopes. At least the media didn't. Now we're looking at the number one team in the nation, and he might be the number one pick overall.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought, that if you watch the Heisman odds during the Ohio State Indiana game, it was wild to see. I think we touched on it a little bit last time, but going into the game, Pavia was the favorite. So Pavia dropped to like -105 or something like that. And then just throughout the game, I was kind of flipping through the odds and monitoring a little bit. The odds for the Heisman were flipping by the pass, like by the completion between San, Mendoza, and Pavia. It's one of the craziest races I've ever seen because they were judging Heisman moment. Basically, whoever won that game was going to win the Heisman. And there was a completion late in the game for Mendoza where his odds just dropped to like -1,500. So you really could have pulled some crazy value if you were just watching those odds, watching those games. But kind of a boring Heisman race, no?
Yeah, definitely a boring Heisman race. It was the first year where we didn't have somebody that was just breaking records or just doing something we hadn't seen. And it begs the question. People are asking if he's the worst Heisman that we've ever had. I did see a list. It was the last 10 winners, and they did have him at number 10, just behind Caleb Williams and Bryce Young were 8 and 9. So if that's 8 and 9, yeah, I would say Mendoza's got to be the lowest. But yeah, it was a competitive year at least. Like you just said, it came down to it. So I think that's kind of fun because in years past, you already know who's going to get it. And I guess we kind of all knew day of that he was going to get it. And what an electric speech too. I mean, this dude, he can talk, and he's
Yeah.
going to win over people in the interview process at the NFL Combine. I guarantee it.
Yeah, he's got a future career as a politician for sure. I mean, he's unbelievable in front of a camera, kid friendly, whatever you want to put him on. Disney Channel, I could see him being a spokesperson, like anywhere you want. It's crazy. You sent me the stats though of like just speaking of the Heisman race. It was Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel versus Love at Notre Dame, the running back this year, and Johnny Manziel had more rushing yards and more touchdowns, so that just kind of like showed me that we didn't see any crazy statistical, anomalies necessarily. Even last year with Genty, I didn't win it because he had Travis Hunter, but Genty had a crazy year last year, and we didn't see anything like that. Even we're looking at Mestamaker, top passer this year. He doesn't even crack the top 100. We were talking about it before the show. Like just nothing really stood out. So that's what I mean by boring. It was a tight race in terms of who was going to win it. You kind of didn't know the whole year, but there was no standout to me of, hey, this is the clear guy at any point. Even the night of, I knew because of the odds, but I feel like you could have given it kind of to anybody if you didn't take into account the games. That's why I think the playoff, it would be more fun to wait because we might see some crazy shit in the playoffs where it's like this guy maybe should have won the Heisman, but I'm happy with it. I don't hate Mendoza winning it. Heisman Mendoza is it's a cool nickname too.
That's a good nickname. And I mean, if Genty would have played this year, let's say instead, and he had that season, he wins this race.
Easy.
And same with Travis Hunter, obviously. So down year, but it is what it is. And I'm sure next year we'll get something, right? It's going to bounce back up.
The Nissan Heisman House commercials with Mendoza are going to be crazy.
Crazy. Yeah. Well, Joe, let's dive into the actual playoff bracket. And I don't know where you want to start with this necessarily, but let's both run through how we think the bracket is going to go. And we can start off. I've got the bracket pulled up right here. Start me off in the top left.
Yep. The upper left quadrant. This is we'll call this the southern quadrant because of who's playing in it. We got the SEC quadrant. It's uh, it's going to be Bama and Oklahoma. That's the first game we're looking at here. We're just going to talk about straight bracket first, and then we'll go through and give our first round pick. So this one is kind of like a March Madness. We're just picking winners, who's going to move on to the next round, and what the matchups look like in each round. So for me, Bama, Oklahoma. I'm going Bama, and I don't like the pick. I hate it. I'm very nervous about it. I feel like this game is the biggest coin flip on the schedule. So I'm going Bama though to put that into the next round against Indiana.
And I'll take Oklahoma.
Oh, nice little head to head. Yep, we have
Yeah.
to. Yeah, one of
Like you
us got
said,
to be
it's a
right.
coin flip.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. That then we jump down. We go to I don't even know what we want to call this quadrant, but it's the bottom left. We got JMU versus Oregon. Um, I mean, we're not talking picks here, so I'm going to go with Oregon. I know that's a shocker to a lot of people, but I'm going to go Oregon moving on to the next round with Texas Tech. And then I got Miami, Texas A&M in the top right. I'm going to go Miami to lose. Texas A&M is going to
Nice.
advance in that one. And then finally in the bottom right, I am going to go with Ole Miss. It's Ole Miss versus Tulane, so another chalky pick. But who do you got in that Oregon JMU game? Back to the left side there.
So I'll be on Oregon to beat JMU, and then I will also have A&M, and I will also have Ole Miss. So
Okay.
I'm going to get pretty chalky with the first round here.
Yep. 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 Okay. So that means we're pretty much at the same exact bracket except for this top left here. So I'm gonna go Bama, Indiana. I don't know. This one might be the upset alert for me, but I think I'm gonna have to stick with Indiana. But I like the winner of that Bama Oklahoma game to beat Indiana. And I think that there's going to be some tasty, tasty odds on that. I think they're going to get bad sports book. I think the line might be like 4.5, which would be insane. I don't think you can give more than a field goal, but I don't know. That one I'm undecided on, but right now I'm leaning Indiana.
And I'll have Oklahoma against Indiana in that matchup, and I lean Indiana as well. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a dogfight if it does happen. It's going to be a rock fight, two good defenses, and you just got to trust Indiana's offense. Although I'm worried, Indiana lost their star defensive end celebrating after the game, which I could not believe. And that
Crazy.
just sucks, dude. That
I saw
sucks.
I saw that video like before on Twitter and I saw him limping, but I thought the injury had happened during the game.
That's
I
what
didn't
I thought
realize
too.
that like that clip was the injury. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah, terrible, terrible. After you just win the biggest game of your entire life, and
Yeah.
then you are jumping up trying to high five people that are in the stands, and you end up tearing up your leg.
Just so
Unbelievable.
fucking brutal. Yeah.
All right,
But then we
Oregon, Texas Tech. Who you got
yeah,
in this one? Because I think
Oregon.
this is a banger.
Yep, I do too. I'm going Oregon. Yep. Trust it. I'm trusting it. I was so high on Texas Tech and I even called for a Texas Tech national title after a few weeks, but since then I've lost a tiny bit of faith and I don't know why. It's just a gut feel. And I think Oregon is going to struggle offensively because they run the ball. Oregon needs to run the ball in order to be good, and Texas Tech has a fucking phenomenal defense. So like on paper, this game should be Texas Tech, but I feel like Dan Lanning's going to get the boys fired up, and I feel like that game playing JMU, yes, they got to play early. They don't get the month off like Texas Tech does, but every team last year that had the bye lost. So I'm going to go back with it, and I'm going Oregon. I'm trusting the Big 10 versus the Big 12 there.
That's sharp. I like that. I like the bye week little nugget you slid in there. I also like Oregon in this matchup. But I do know somebody that their brother has a Texas Tech future from the offseason, and they got it at 300 to 1. And he put like $100 on it to win like an absurd amount of money. And yeah, so kind of interested to see if that plays out. But if
Yeah,
I was in his position, I'd be hedging so
I'd
hard.
hedge. Yep, yep.
But yeah, I like Oregon in this matchup. I think Oregon should be favored. And I was even looking, um, Oregon is minus 105 to make it to the semifinals. And to me, they're gonna win JMU. Like I don't see any way they lose that game. So really, Texas Tech game, that's what it means. You got to think. So sports books are putting that out there. That means they would have Texas Tech like minus 125, minus 130, probably somewhere around there for that game. But my model has Oregon favored in this game. So very high on them.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun, very fun matchup.
Yeah. And then we both have A&M playing against Ohio State. And I don't know, Ohio State, they look pretty hungry right now.
I know. I feel like I like Marcel Shell, and I wanna bet Texas A&M against Ohio State, but I can't go against the Evil Empire right now. I think they're too good. And I'm gonna get chalky there, and I'm gonna go Ohio State, moving on to the Final Four.
Yep, you know me, Marcel Lachelle. That's my guy. But same. You just can't go against Ohio State, especially not in this spot. And then we both have Ole Miss going against Georgia, little SEC showdown. There's just one problem. Ole Miss is missing some key pieces, specifically in the coaching department for this matchup. And I will be taking Georgia to win that game.
Yep, dogs. Roll dogs. I'm definitely taking the dogs.
All right. So now we're in the final four. We're in the semifinals. And have we both have Oregon. We both have Ohio State. We both have Georgia. And I forget, did you end up taking Alabama?
No, Indiana, chalky.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
going, yeah,
Okay.
I can't bet against Signetti.
All right. So we're in the same spot. Indiana, Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia. All right. Let's start off Oregon, Indiana. Give it to me.
Indiana, yep. We've seen it. I think Indiana wins this game. I think Indiana makes the national title. Heisman Doza, Signetti, whole thing. I like Oregon a lot. I don't think they got the juice to keep up with Indiana. It's gonna be a really good fucking game, and it's gonna come down to a coin flip, but just feels like a magical season for the Hoosiers. So I'm going Hoosiers make the natty.
I need this game to happen. I need this because I want to see the rematch. And I'm going to go Oregon here. I'm going to take Oregon. Tough to beat the same team twice. I know they lost already and they were at home for that game. But the big thing I saw was that Oregon got ate up in the trenches. And without Indiana's defensive end, I don't know, maybe Dante Moore's getting a little more time back there to make decisions. But more so just the revenge angle. Dan Lanning, there's nobody he would rather beat right now, I think, than Signetti. So I'm going to take the upset there. And then we got Ohio State, Georgia on the other side. And who you like in this one? Because this is a banger.
Yeah, it's a banger, and I'm going Georgia. I'm rolling with the SEC. I'm going Georgia. I have a future right now. Georgia national title and the Rams to win the Super Bowl. So I caught that a couple weeks ago, and I don't hate it. Like the more I've looked at it, the more I kind of like the pick. I think Georgia's found a little something on defense, which they've been kind of missing all year, and I think they have a much better offense than Ohio State, which is insane to say, but it seems like the production the last couple weeks, especially against an Indiana defense, especially against, some of the real teams Ohio State's played. That's just my question. Georgia is fucking battle tested. Like they have gone through the trenches this year, so I think that's going to be the difference. And I like a Georgia Indiana national title. It's a weird matchup to get there, but that's what I'm looking forward to.
That's what makes this so fun
Yep.
because all these scenarios could happen. We could all be wrong. And one of us is going to be wrong because I'm taking Ohio State here. They're on the perfect revenge tour. Sam gets invited, and while he's at the Heisman race, nobody's talking to him. I'm sure you saw the picture. They're like, this photo might be legendary in 2 months because literally everybody's getting interviewed except for him. Jeremiah Smith doesn't win the Bolitnikoff. He goes straight to Twitter and posts a meme and basically like, I'm just going to kill everybody now. And then Ohio State loses the Big Ten championship. I don't know. It just seems like a perfect storm for them to roll right here. So I'm going to take Ohio State. So I'll have Ohio State, Oregon for the national championship. You're going to have the flip. You're going to have Indiana, Georgia.
Yep.
I
Yep.
love
And
it.
I think those 2 games are what everybody wants out of the playoff. I think that's the ideal matchup in my head. I don't look anywhere else and see a game that I would rather see than those teams. I think Indiana Texas Tech is the only thing that I could maybe want instead of Oregon just because they haven't played. But the Ohio State Georgia, like I need that game because that's just those are some of the best teams, probably the 2 best teams in the country aside from Indiana in my head. So obviously 2-3, but I just that would be the national title picks for me. If I could pick Ohio State and Georgia to play each other, that's who I'd pick in the national title.
The good thing is, I feel confident that we're going to get to see that matchup. I think
Yeah,
there's
it
more
seems like it.
uncertainty on the left side of the bracket. On that side, though, Georgia, Ohio State, they seem destined to
Yep.
meet each other.
Yep.
All right. Well, Georgia, Indiana, who you got winning it all? I think I already got a feeling.
Yep. I'm going Georgia, SEC bias. I think we've heard a lot of talk about the Big Ten lately, best conference in terms of who's won the last few and all this nonsense. I like Signetti to get to the big game, but then, old Kirby, the old guard, is going to come back and snatch it back. So I like Georgia here, and I don't know. Yeah, I'm rolling with the dogs in the SEC this year.
And then I got Oregon, Ohio State, and unfortunately, Dan Lanning, this is where it ends. Ohio State is your national champion. And if it does come down to this, I'm not really going to care, Joe, because I put in a big wager. It was my favorite bet when I looked forward. I took the Big Ten to win the national championship at minus 170. Um, and there's a chance we get a Big Ten title game in the national championship, right? So um, it was at minus 170. I saw some other books closer to minus 200. And basically, you get Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon. You get those three. And if one of them wins, you're in. Once I saw that my model liked Texas or liked Oregon over Texas Tech, I was like, I got to play this. I feel like I should throw it in because if that does happen, I'm guaranteed one spot in the national championship.
That's a good bet. I like that. I might take the SEC one if it's at plus money.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see it. Because that's what's funny. As you're talking the whole time, you're like, I'm fading the Big Ten. I'm
Yeah.
going SEC. And I'm like, fuck.
No, that's a positive for your bet, not a negative. That is
That's
a
true.
good sign that you're on the right side there.
That's true. Might be sharp. Who knows? But yeah, that's going to be how we break down the brackets. Maybe we'll throw out some graphics showing you how we think this is going to play out. But I'm actually really happy that we didn't have the same ending.
The
In fact,
exact
we
same. Yeah.
we didn't even have the same team in the national championship. So ride with who you want at this point. But Joe, let's dive into the actual betting for week one. And we can start off with um, JMU at Oregon. And spread opened up at 20. And I think I already said on last episode, but that was the first bet I made right as it opened up. I took Oregon minus 20, and now it's sitting at 21 and a half. Please don't tell me
Yeah.
you like
Um
JMU.
no, I don't, but I think I might have to bet them only because of their Twitter game. Have you seen their Twitter profile? It's
Elite.
like that page for JMU. It might be the greatest run a Twitter account's ever had. It's got to the point now where Oregon's even like kind of joining in on the fun. They're not even bashing them. They're just like making fun of it with them. Because I just think JMU is America's darling. I don't think anybody wants to see the Tulane game. I sure don't. We've already seen it and they got waxed. So I just want one of these group of 5 teams to put up some sort of fight. And I want it to be a reasonably close game because then we can close the discourse on should a group of 5 team be in or not. So I want this one to be a banger. And I know that you'd lose your bet, so I'm sorry about that. But I want this to come down to like a field goal. Like that would be fucking awesome. And it would just shut everybody up and it'd be really fun. I think Oregon wins the game, but I just want to see it within, Give me a 10-point Oregon win. Like, that would be enough for me.
Yeah, I sure hope
So
not.
that being said, I don't know if I'll do it. I haven't decided yet, but I think I'm gonna go JMU 21.5 just for the fuck of it.
Yeah, I think that's fun. I think that's fun. I mean, I'm happy I took the 20. Like, I put 5 units on -20. If I was betting it right now, I would not do that at 21.5. Like, that was a very key number for me. All right, let's move on to Alabama, Oklahoma. And right now, Alabama slight favorite, 1.5 point favorite, and your over under is 40.5. So you already know how this game's going to feel as soon as we flip it on. It is going to be a battle for points. Whoever can get that small amount of points first, they're going to have an early advantage.
Yeah, I think the only thing that scares me, I wanna take Bama first half. It's been my bet all year. It's been profitable. It's about one of the only things I've been right on more than I've been wrong. The thing that scares me is this Michigan job and DeBoer. I think he's entertaining it. No, I know he said he's not, but it's gotta be in the back of his mind, and I don't really get it because to me, Michigan is not a better job than Bama. I think Bama's the mecca, at least it has been, and you're in the South, like, I don't know. I don't get it. So that worries me a bit, but I think I'm going to go Bama first half. I just don't trust Oklahoma's offense at all. And I think Bama could get to a touchdown lead, and that honestly might be enough cuz Oklahoma has really struggled on offense even though Alabama has a not great run defense and Oklahoma's okay at running this is just going to be a weird game. Either it's going to be way over 40 or it's going to be a 10 to 13 game. Like I can't decide how this is going to go.
Speaking of the Michigan job that you're talking about for DeBoer, I believe the prediction markets now have Jed Fish as the favorite by a pretty large margin, which is gross to me.
That's
I
so
would rather see
disgusting.
DeBoer go there.
Yeah, this is disgusting. No, I'd rather see literally any like Dillingham or DeBoer, like Jed Fish.
Yeah, the
What
Dillingham
has he done?
theme that really came back down because, like, just a couple days ago, people thought it was a done deal, and now he's sitting at 12%.
What is that on?
Kalshi.
Okay, okay,
Kalshi has Jed Fish
12%. Yeah, he was at.
52%.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
yeah,
Wow,
that's what I'm
that
saying.
market doesn't know what the fuck it's doing.
No, I mean that's why I was so surprised because Dillingham told everybody, he said, I'm home. This is where I want to be for the rest of my life. Like my dream is to build Arizona State up, not like move on to somewhere that's already done it. Like I don't know. It was weird to me that people were so sold on them, but it's
Yeah,
gambling though.
but the fact that he was crying, the fact that
That
he was
was weird.
crying in an interview, like that to me was I'm leaving, not I'm home.
Yeah, I agree. That was very weird, and it did give off the vibes that he was for sure leaving. Well, I mean, we already kind of picked this game, but I'm going to be on Oklahoma. I'm going to take Oklahoma money line. Are you going to touch the total at all, or does it just scare the hell out of you?
Yeah, no, I'm not touching it. I'm Bama first half, and that's it.
Deal. Let's go to Tulane at Ole Miss. Um, this is the game I'm hoping. If you want a group of five, it's going to keep it close. I'm hoping it's this one.
You think?
I don't know. I mean, you're missing your coach, but they don't think that it matters.
I don't think. Yeah, I think Ole Miss is gonna have a plan here, and I think the interims are gonna rock. I think Ole Miss covers. I'm gonna take Ole Miss 17.5.
Nice. You dog. You dog, dude. I thought you were for sure going to be on Tulane. I'm going to take over in this game. I like the points, so I'm taking over 56.5. That's where it stands right now.
So many points for a playoff game. That's
It
awesome.
is a lot, but I'm kind of under the assumption that I think Ole Miss is going to be able to put up points pretty easily.
Yeah.
And Tulane, I think they'll have a better showing than they had offensively in the first matchup. That's kind of where I'm at with this one. And then the last game, this is the best game, but Miami at Texas A&M. I got a feeling College Station's going to be rocking for this game because I can't remember watching a Texas A&M game since Menzel was there that was as big as this. And maybe not even when he was there, to be honest. I mean, he had some great upsets against Bama, but this is a whole different level. This is a chance to make a title run.
Yep. And I don't hate Texas A&M to go deep. I think they could push Ohio State if they beat Miami. I really do. I don't think Miami could. I don't think they got the juice like that. And I'm calling two things in this game. I'm going Texas A&M. I'm going to take Texas A&M with the 3.5. But I'm calling two things here. I'm calling one Marcel Lachelle legacy game. I think he's going to put a show on here, and I like it. And I'm also calling Carson Beck a couple dumb picks, a couple dumb key interceptions that we're all just going to get to watch. And this is our hate watch. We've been waiting for it all year. This is it. This is the one. This is the one that you need to tune in to see Carson Beck blame his receivers for an interception that was probably his fault.
All right, so you're taking A&M minus 3.5. I
Yes,
will
sir.
be too, brother. I'm taking it too.
Nice.
I was gonna see if it goes down anymore because I think it started at 4.5 and it's coming down. But yeah, 3.5. Let's fucking ride.
Yep. Yep.
Hell yeah. Well, we made it through, gave out the picks, and fresh slate. I don't think anybody wants to show their betting records on this show. So fresh slate
No.
here. But no, zero a ball game as far as I'm concerned. Season just started.
If you know anything about us, we're tournament playoff merchants. If you saw our March Madness last year, we were unbelievable in March Madness, and I don't even remember the records, but just trust me, they were good.
That was a great run by us. That was a great run. We got off to just such a hot start. There was halfway through the tournament, there was no way we could even lose. All right, Joe. Let's dive in to the first annual Mojoe Sports Award Show. We got about, I don't know, 8 to 10 awards that will be given out. And some of these are not your traditional awards. Okay. So buckle up because
Are any of them traditional?
I think there's one traditional award on this whole list. um, but Joe, I'm going to let you start with your first award.
Okay. Yeah. First award. We're going to go with my most boring award. This is the closest I have to a real award. And that's going to be the upset of the year. So just the upset of the year. And I had two main candidates here. There was one that was kind of a clear favorite all year. And then there was one that happened recently. And it might be a little bit more under the radar. So the two finalists were Illinois State. They had an upset over North Dakota State in the FCS playoffs. That is a crazy upset. If you don't follow the FCS at all, North Dakota State is a dynasty that has been around for a very, very long time. So the Redbirds pulled that one out. Nobody saw it. I think they were like 24-point dogs going into that game. So wild upset. But the winner of this award is not Illinois State. It is going to go to UCLA for beating Penn State early in the year, an upset nobody saw coming. And the butterfly effect from that game alone is fucking crazy. If you think back, Penn State was a national title contender, and then that game happened, and now we've got just chaos. Their coach got fired, both coaches got fired, and it's just been a whirlwind after that. So congratulations to the UCLA Bruins, upset of the year from Mojoe Sports.
And what an upset it was. They beat a team that didn't even make it to the conference championship. Didn't finish top 25.
The context is lacking postseason, but at the time it was a damn good upset.
It was a great upset. RIP to anybody that had minus 2,500 on the money line. You want to go back and forth? You want to do award for award?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I'm going to start off with my most boring award as well, which is just best wide receiver in the country. And this is not even a tough award to give out. I don't know why the committee struggled so much with it, but Jeremiah Smith, you are our winner. I want to let you know first, Mojoe Sports, we do think you are the best wide receiver in the country. You did not get the Blitnikoff, but come on down to the studio, maybe rip an interview with us. Jeremiah Smith, you are our best wide receiver. And maybe someday he'll be in the NFL and we could say, hey, we called that. We thought this guy was pretty good when nobody else did. So Jeremiah Smith, best wide receiver, goes to you.
Maybe he'll be in the NFL one day. Just maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we sure think he will be. We're one of the few.
Uh, All right, moving on. We're going to go to the Bagman of the Year award. So, the Bagman of the Year award, that's going to go to the player who earned themselves the biggest bag coming out of this season. And this award is going to go to somebody who likely will be transferring and will become, say, generationally wealthy. I mean, maybe around that level at a new, bigger program. And this year's winner is going to go to Drew Messmaker out of North Texas. Congratulations to him, top passer in the country, had never even started a fucking varsity game to now one of the top transfer quarterbacks in the country. Might go to Oklahoma State to follow his coach, but what a year he had, a game away from the college football playoff. And yeah, unbelievable. Hope he makes a lot of money. Congratulations to him, Bagman of the Year.
Hey, go get that bag and don't spend it all in one place. All right. Take it from me. I got that first stipend at UNLV and I went
It
straight
just
to the blackjack table. Here we go.
that cost of attendance check just blown on rent and food.
Rent, food, parlays, who knows? All right. For this next one, I want to give out the award for Storm of the Year. We had some good storms. We had a bunch of MAC games that had some snowstorms, all types of stuff. But Storm of the Year this year, it's going to go to Virginia when they beat Florida State. That was the greatest storm the field I have ever seen in my entire life. I will definitely link the video. But man, and nobody got hurt either. So it was a very safe storm. Player safety, always number one priority here at Mojo. Storm of the Year, Virginia. Hats off to you guys. Maybe get some railing though next time. Maybe some barricades.
That might be storm of all time, best storm of all time.
Yeah, I think it's up there with Hurricane Katrina. It's up there with, yeah.
We'll jump into the next award, which is the WWE Heel Turn of the Year award. This one is somebody that we came into the year, everybody loved him. Everybody loved him. And then all of a sudden, you kind of started to not love them. And you kind of started to get a little animosity every time they're on your screen. You didn't like them as much when you saw them. And I think this one is kind of clear. The tides turned on him, and it might not be his fault, but boy, he's not helping his case after this last Heisman weekend. The winner is Diego Pavia for Vanderbilt. If you've seen some of the clips this last weekend, he was at a club, probably didn't buy the sign, but there was a sign that just said, fuck Indiana. He was in an interview, he said, fuck the voters. So just, digging himself a hole. I don't think anybody wanted to see his mom twerking on TV anymore. But there it is, the heel turn of the year. Last year, I don't think anybody in the country hated this guy, and now everybody just looks at him as a Johnny Manziel wannabe. So he's doing it up though. Respect. I don't hate him. I'm just giving this award because everybody else hates him.
It is crazy. He was everybody's, hidden gem. Everybody loved him the last couple years. And yeah, he has just run so far with this thing. And I don't know if he just realizes he's got his 15 minutes of fame right now. I don't know. But the sign at the club, fuck Indiana, absolutely crazy. I love seeing him though at the Heisman. Everybody's talking about his height. They're like, Jeremiah Love is 6 foot. Pavia's listed at 6 foot, but Pavia only goes up to his shoulders. So
Yeah.
someone's lying.
Yep. I think he issued an apology, but I read the apology and I didn't quite see the apology. So if you've read it, it's a big long paragraph. I didn't really see the sorry that was listed in there. And to be honest with you, I don't think he should say sorry. I think he should just become college football's villain and just run with it. Start a college football show. You can come on this show if you want.
Would love to have him. Hell, I'll take one of his brothers. We can get one of his
Yeah.
brothers on here. That would be electric. They all asked, they said, who would you let touch the Heisman first if you won it? And Jeremiah Love, Mendoza, saying all said their mom. They're like, oh, my mom would touch it. Pavia was like, me first. And then after that, maybe my mom, but I'll probably give it to Theo Vaughn and have him keep it behind him for his podcast and just hope he doesn't ever get robbed. So, Yeah, he was just digging himself a hole, the complete opposite of Mendoza, but
Yep,
electric to see. And you want to talk about a bag. That kid was getting a bag this year.
yep. I think he spent it all on that sign though at the club.
Yeah, those aren't cheap, Joe.
No.
All right, well, I'm going to give out my Little Darling Award. And for those of you that live in Vegas or have ever been to Vegas, Little Darling means a little something different here. But this award goes to the team that I was betting on all year that made me the most money. And I want to give a huge shout out. Last year, my little darling would have been Indiana. This year, my little darling, the BYU Cougars. Congrats to you guys for making me lots of money. And in return, obviously, we have your trophy here in studio, but if you can send a representative, I also have $100 gift card to Lil Darling's strip club here in Vegas that you can redeem for a lap dance. So, BYU, give it up to you guys.
It's quite the award for a consolation prize not making the playoff, and then they get that though. At least they have that.
They have that. They can hang their
Hang the
hats.
banner.
Yeah. Lil Darling.
The next award, speaking of strip clubs, we're gonna go and move on here to the Urban Meyer Horniest Coach of the Year award. Now that name could have been given out to a plethora of coaches to name this award after, but Urban Meyer, just so many good clips of him, and I think it's an honor that he deserves with that naming. So, the Urban Meyer Horniest Coach of the Year award was locked up by one man all year long. It was locked up by one man all year long. It wasn't even a fucking close race. And then out of the rafters, out of the sky, we get a late entry that just takes it by 50,000 miles. It was going to be Bill Belichick. Not anymore. Coach Sharon Moore, congratulations. You are the Urban Meyer Horniest Coach of the Year. For those of you that did not see the story, quite a wild turn of events here. Head coach one day, prison the next day. He was having an affair with a staffer, got her pregnant, abortion, the whole thing that comes along with all of that. The news broke, showed up to her house, grabbed a couple butter knives, threatened to kill himself and her. Not good all around. And 5 minutes after he got out of jail, he was messaging an OnlyFans girl and threatening her. And with those receipts, we also saw the 6 other messages that he had sent her over the months. So what are you doing, man? I don't get it. I don't understand what these coaches, they get into these seats and it always happens. But he could have been fine. You know, the affair, you can get through that. He would have been an O-line coach at anywhere pretty much after all this broke. Would have got through it, and instead now he's probably going to jail. So what a wild turn of events, but at least he has this award to come home to.
A true Michigan man. That's what they're saying. And tough break for the kid, I guess, but think we were here early. We were not, we weren't fans of his at all. You could
Yep.
tell a
Yep.
couple of the videos we put out. So I felt very vindicated with this one.
We said it a couple weeks ago. We just didn't have the proof, but yeah,
Yeah.
we were real early. I was talking about football, but boy, yeah. Good thing we were on that one.
Yeah. Well, at least he will have this trophy. I don't think he'll be able to come get it from the studio. So we'll just have to figure out what prison he's in and we can send it down there. But I
I
expect
think
to see.
he's done enough coming over the last little bit. He doesn't have to come down anywhere.
He's got 3 kids, Joe.
Yeah,
3.
well,
Actually, maybe a 4th on the way. I'm excited to see who wins that award next year as well. This
yeah.
is
It
definitely reoccurring.
unfortunately it seems to not be a problem to find candidates every year, so I'm sure we'll get one.
And then for my final award, I will be giving out this year's best breakup. And we have some candidates. First candidate for this year's best breakup, James Franklin, Penn State. What a breakup that was. It was an early breakup. And People had this one written on the wall for a long time, and they finally cut the cord. But you know what? Hindsight was not a good idea for Penn State to break up with him. So
He won the
I can't
breakup.
give this. I can't give this award to you guys because this one does go to the school that made the idea to break up. The next candidate, Brian Kelly, LSU. That was an awesome breakup. We got the golf course records of him golfing like 4 times a week in season. After he loses the game, we see him in the parking lot, people taking videos, and then all the stories that came out after from all of his former players. Just elite stuff. The next nominee for the best breakup would be Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. This one got dirty just when you thought James Franklin and Brian Kelly had this thing locked up, he comes in, he breaks up with the school in this situation, and then the entire town turns against him and they start giving out all the dirt. And we know how this hostage situation went down. Ultimately, they said, hey, you're not welcome to coach here anymore. You can take all your guys. But, Joe, just like for Horniest Man of the Year award, someone came in right at the end, and that would be Michigan and Sharon Moore. You guys win best breakup of the 2025 college football season. So congrats, Sharon Moore, double award winner.
Two-time two-time winner. Wow.
Dude,
I think he needs that. He needs that.
yeah, I mean, he deserves it for sure. He put in all the work. I would say he kind of carried this breakup too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the best. Those candidates you gave, we got the full gamut too. You saw with James Franklin, that's like, your friends' parents that have been together for a while, but they just kind of fell out of love. Like it was a mutual breakup. Everybody kind of knew it was time to move on, whatever. Brian Kelly, that one was the one, your friends' parents that just fucking hated each other the whole time. And the only reason they were married is because you hadn't left for college yet. And then as soon as you left for college, they got divorced like a month later. And then the Ole Miss, that one is like two hot people, like
Yeah.
middle of a prime marriage. Nobody saw it coming, but you knew they just screamed at each other all the time. But you didn't quite know. You thought it was just their thing, and then it just came out of nowhere. And then Sharon Moore, that's just the gift that keeps on. I don't even know what to compare that one to. That one's just that one's unprecedented. I don't know what that one's like. I've never seen one of those in person.
Which is why it has to be best breakup of the year because it's just something we've never even seen in the college football landscape. So, congrats for doing the unthinkable, and you are a true trailblazer. Well, Joe, that is the end of the award show. We've now gone over the college football playoffs. We've gone over the first round and the games, and we've given out all the most prestigious awards you can earn in all of college football.
Yeah, congratulations to the winner. I mean, winners. Congratulations to all of them. That was a lot of hard work that went into those, and we'll send out your trophies here soon. And if you want to come get the little darling gift card, that's at Will's house. So yeah, he'll have that for you, $100. So it's that'll get bigger as we get going here, though. So next year might be 125. Just depends on how we do. This year wasn't super profitable though.
Yeah, if you've been to Little Darlings before, I mean, 125, that'll get you like 5 lap dances. I mean, they've got good deals over there. All right. A little less talented, though, I would say. But that does it for this episode. And we have moved to one episode a week. So Monday mornings, make it a routine. You wake up, the pod will already be loaded in to Spotify, Apple, YouTube, whatever you use. It's on there. Fire it up and get your week started. But appreciate you guys listening. Hope you guys enjoyed the awards. Hope you guys tell some of our picks. And we will see you again next.
Adios.